On my 21st birthday, I got jumped by 2 girls. And I was so drunk, I'm counting feet. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 2 feet per person. I know somebody kicking me. Why am I being kicked? How is her feet kicking me? And it took a minute. And then eventually, it dawned on me I was being jumped by 2 people. I ran into my apartment. I had a block knife thing. I just grabbed any knife. I came around the front and I closed my eyes and I swung my knife because I was, trying to catch an arm or something, like block something. And I ended up stabbing her in the heart. I was just devastated because I couldn't believe the person I was helping.
The person you were just having beer with.
Yeah, and drinking beer with out of the same cup is trying to kill me now. When Jesus said there is nothing good in the heart of man, he really meant that.
We go through life not knowing what others are going through. We walk by them daily, not able to fathom the depths of the struggle they face. I am Tamara Gordon, and this is Tea with My Sweet Gratitude, a safe space where I'll be having unfiltered conversation with ordinary people with incredible stories and life experiences. Not only will I be speaking with others while they share their story, I am privileged to share my remarkable story of motherhood, wrongful imprisonment, and the wisdom I've gained and the journey to self-love. So stay tuned to this channel and let today's conversation begin. Sweet gratitude shining down on me. Welcome to Tea with My Sweet Gratitude. I'm your host, Tamara Gordon, and today I have the pleasure of sitting across from a phenomenal woman, Miss LaResse Harvey. Today she's going to share a story of true power, of how she overcome all that she's been through, but how she just fights through them gracefully. I am so happy to have you here today.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Thank you. Tell the viewer a little bit about you, and then we could jump into your story.
Well, my story is very interesting. However, I would like to know what kind of tea we're drinking first because I am a teaaholic.
All right, so let me pour this tea for you, darling.
Yes.
Put your tea over here. Today I make some hibiscus and some ginger with a little bit of holy basil.
Oh.
And we're not straining it because I like to use the leaves as well. And there you see some small little leaves. I think it just gives it just a little kick.
Yes. Well, thank you.
And this tincture that you're having is guinea hen weed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, right in front of you. You could wait a little bit before you put it in it, not too hot.
I'll just put a little dab in there.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. So, of course, whenever I'm invited somewhere, I love tea, but I'll tell you my story.
So usually I have a tea and I create a tea for a person, and we create a tea before you. I create a tea for you before.
Yes, you did.
Button's Journey.
Yes.
So that's why I didn't talk about it too much. But this tea is very special to me because it really relaxes me. So right before I meditate, I'll have this tea. Oh. I think it calmed me down so nicely.
Yeah, that's what the Button's Journey tea you made for me did. So it will be available as soon as she put it all in the package to get it together for sales one day.
That's a nice tea.
It's a really good tea.
Yeah, so talk to us.
My name is LaResse Harvey, and I am a Connecticut Hall of Change Grade 8er, inducted in 2020 for my over 20 years of successful reentry and policy development changes. So I got into advocacy at the age of 15 when I was a teen mom. And what I didn't like was, even though I was a teen mom, I was still a good mom. You know, I lived with my grandma and everything, but like I took care of my daughter. It wasn't like I had a baby and then let my grown people and act like a teenager. My grandmother wasn't having it because she's from 1930s, and she was like, we had babies back then and we was mature and we was married. You better take care of this child. So I was taking care of my daughter.
So you
and
don't go
to
out and
school.
have 10 more.
Yeah. Exactly. And she's like, your only job is to take care of this baby and make sure you graduate from high school. And so during that time, whenever I went to the doctors, of course my grandma would come and take me. But whenever my daughter got sick or I needed to explain something, the doctors were not listening to me. They were like, defer to my grandmother, be like, and my grandma be like, I don't know nothing about this baby. That's her baby, Southern old lady. And so over time, I was like, you know what? I'm tired of being disrespected as a mom. Yes, I'm a teenager. Yes, I made a mistake, but there's no way you're going to make me a statistic. Because that's the one thing I never want to be, as a statistic, or a stereotype. And so I got involved with Young Parents Program, which was an after-school program that helped mothers and fathers, teen moms and dads, to, learn about peer pressure, become mature, just say no to drugs, safe sex. So they use teen parents to talk about safe sex because we're living with the consequences of not having safe sex.
It makes sense.
Right? So, and with that program, I learned how to do advocacy, how to shape my story and experiences with data. And I traveled around Connecticut went to different colleges, high schools. Back then, you couldn't do it in middle schools because they said that middle school kids were too young. So it was like high school, college students. And we went to different conferences. And eventually, we created a law, the Children's Act of 1988. And we advocated across the country. And then we got invited as one of the main teen groups to go to D.C. to Congress to testify about the bill.
Wow.
And I was doing that at 17.
That's nice.
And when I was there, I got to meet. Back then, Sugar Ray Leonard was the boxer, the famous boxer. So I got to meet him. And he was so short. It was like, dude, how you fight? He was like, I'm 5'7". He's like 5'5". He was like, I was looking down at him, but amazed. Like, he probably was like, this gigantic woman's gonna attack me, but I wasn't. I was just a 17-year-old girl meeting one of her favorite boxers, and we talked for a little bit, and I told him what I was doing. He was like, that's a good cause, keep being positive and everything. And I was in the hotel where Reagan almost got assassinated at. Oh, wow. And when you walk into the hotel, like, I love classical music. I used to play the violin and the flute. So we walk in and there is this grand piano and it's on an island and it's in the center and around it is a pool of water. So the person has to press a button to walk over, obviously. There's a little thing you walk over, but you don't see it during the performance. So I'm in this grand hotel, and I'm like, God, this is exactly where I belong. I belong living in this kind of luxury. It's like, I'm going to be famous one day for changing lives. So that was me at 17.
Yeah.
And that's how I got involved.
It makes sense what you're doing. But before we jump into all the wonderful stuff you're doing now, let's talk a little bit about your prison story. So I want to talk about what led you there, the story that led you in prison. Because you served 27 years?
No, they offered me 20 to life.
20 to life.
And I refused, and that was their plea bargaining, was 20 to life. And I refused the 20 to life. And because I had no intention of killing her. And so I went to trial. And when I went to trial, because I didn't feel like I was guilty for defending myself or my children. The state of Connecticut doesn't have a self-defense law. The self-defense law that's in the state of Connecticut is if you're in a car, getting carjacked, and you have a concealed weapon, or you know, hurt somebody protecting yourself while they're trying to rob you in your car, you won't go to jail for that. If you're cornered in a room and they're attacking you and there's no exit, you don't go to jail for that. But if you're in your own home and someone comes to your front door and chases you down to your kitchen, and in your kitchen is a back door, and you don't go out that back door.
What if you can't?
If you have a back, listen to what I'm saying. If you have a back door and you don't go out that back door, if you're not running from the front door to the back door to go out and try to get help, and you happen to stop in your kitchen and grab a weapon, and that person can have a gun, and you can try to protect yourself, you will go to jail if they die.
Wow.
And they can also sue you if they stay alive, because that's not considered self-defense in Connecticut.
House?
In your own property, on your property, outside your property. There is no stand your ground in Connecticut, and we need that kind of law, because if we had that kind of law, I would have never been spent one day in jail.
Yeah, let's talk about the story
So,
a little bit.
On my 21st birthday, I got jumped by two girls. One of the girls named Tammy. Thought she was a good girl. I was helping to escape from an abusive relationship. That's the story she told me. She said she was in an abusive relationship. She found out through people that I was a good person and I can help her. And I was like, yeah. I grew up in an abusive household. My father was an alcoholic. My mother is mentally unstable. And there was a lot of abuse in the house. I was sexually abused by my parents from 2 to 5.
Oh, wow.
And I got scars from being beaten by belts. So growing up, I tried to always make things peaceful, you know, just for my own safety. Because if it's done right, then I'm safe. So I knew that, you know, being in that fear, being in abusive relationships and stuff.
Yeah.
So I wanted to help her. Her boyfriend at the time was friends with a guy I was living with. He wasn't my boyfriend. He was a young man who just needed a place to stay until he get his green card confirmed for working. So he stayed there, and his friend Orville, which became my friend too, we were all friends, and Orville knew Tammy's boyfriend. They had business dealings with each other. Then Kirk invited Tammy's boyfriend over, and Tammy came with him. And when Tammy came with him, she was very nervous. She wasn't like herself when she came to visit me a couple of days before by herself, and we got to talking about her story and how I could help her escape the abuser and all this stuff. And so I became even more compassionate towards her because I saw the fear in her eyes when she was around that man. And he was in the kitchen talking to Kirk, and me and her was in my living room, and I was sitting down, and she was just like always, you know, that nervous look where you just look like, make sure you're and she sat so proper and still. And I remember feeling like that as a kid. So I was like, I gotta help this girl. I gotta help her. Fast forward a month later, you know, I went and I made phone calls. She would come in once a week and check with me, sit at my house. She would sneak over. I would see her at the club, and then we just act like we weren't all that, you know, close. And she had a best friend named Adrian. And so I always saw them two together, except for when she would sneak to come to my house to talk to me about her escape plan. So on my 21st birthday, I had a party. I lived in an apartment on Willow Street, 79A Willow Street to be exact.
And that's in New Haven?
No, that's in New Britain.
In New Britain? Okay.
And the apartment building was Talcott Gardens. And so I lived on the first floor, and you could literally lift up my windows from the outside, you know, pull out the screen, lift up the window, and you can put one foot in and be in my living room, in my daughter's room, in my bedroom, in the kitchen, in anywhere, any room except for the bathroom. You could get into the house easily. There was no bars or anything on the windows. So I'm going to say that for clarification so people understand. So I live on the first floor. They came over after the club ended. I had already been drinking Boone's Farm, Strawberry Hill wine, and I was smoking some weed, but that didn't do anything. Like I was drinking, and I was drinking a lot, and I was having a good time. I was 21, and I had my daughter and my son. My son was 1 year and 5 months. My daughter was going to be 5, and she started kindergarten. She's, she was 5 and she had started kindergarten. And so my birthday weekend, we was all excited because I had birthday with them in the morning and then I had my party at night. It was a Saturday. Sunday morning around 3 o'clock in the morning. No, 2 o'clock in the morning is when they came over. And they knocked on the door to use the bathroom because I live close to the club. And I let them in because I was familiar with them. And when Adrian went in to use the bathroom, I was talking to Tammy, and I was asking Tammy what was going on, what was happening. And she was like, nothing, girl, thank you so much for helping me, whatever. And I said, the night before, your man came over here, and me and him got into a fight. And I was like, listen, he can't come to my house anymore. If he ever comes to my house, I'm calling the cops on him. And I said, and you could come over, but I know now why you want to escape because
of what you saw.
But yeah, because he came in, bust down my door. He started punching on me and stuff. Accused me of lying to Tammy. I don't know what she said to him or whatever happened. All I know is when he came into my house, I was walking out of the bathroom. I got tapped on the shoulder. I thought my friend Kirk was playing games with me. When I turned around, I got punched in the face, and me and him was fighting.
In your house?
In my house. And Tammy was standing there, and he had me pinned on the couch. And she was looking, and she kept saying, well, if she's lying, why are you hitting on her? She did not help me or anything. She was just standing there, and I'm struggling. And finally, I call it my Hulk alter ego, where I become super strong. It's your adrenaline, and I know how to fight really, really good. So I became the Hulk, and I lifted this guy up off of me by his knees, and I tossed him, and then I start beating him up. And then she grabs him because, now there's blood, there's blood splatter on my wall of my apartment, and he runs out, and then my friends, Kirk and Orville, they grab me because I'm chasing him out. At this point, I had a rage blackout because you're not going to beat me like you beat her. God forbid, I'm not going to be that victim. I'm not going to be my mama. I'm not going to be my sister. And I'm damn sure not going to be her. I don't even know this dude like that. He's put his hands on me. My father taught me, somebody put their hands on you, you put your hands on them. And I live by that rule. So Kirk and Orville grabbed me, sit me down, and I was like, calm down. I was like, I'm gonna kill him. I'm bleeding. Do you see the blood? Oh my God, am I bleeding? If I'm bleeding, that's it. It's over. I'm gonna smash that dude. So I pushed him off me. I run in the bathroom, and I look at my face, and I have this scratch that was all the way down to here, and I had scratches on my arms, and my face was all swelled up. And I was like, he's not getting away with this. So I ran to the kitchen, and I grabbed a knife, and I ran outside, and I'm chasing the car. And I'm like, I'm top speed. I caught up with the car. It's a short street, but I caught up with the car. He was doing about 45 miles an hour, and I caught up with him. I was running that fast with my rage. And I was going like this with the knife to the window because he was on the driver's side, but the window was up. And then I don't know what it was, but something stopped me. I just stopped halfway, just stopped. And I believe it was God. And I walked back to my apartment. So on my 21st birthday, when Tammy and Adrian come over and use the bathroom, it wasn't her who did it to me. So I thought she was a victim like me.
Yeah.
So of course I'm going to let her in. And while Adrian was using the bathroom, me and Tammy was talking about what happened the night before with her boyfriend. And I said, girl, I know why you want to get away. She was like, yeah, please, help me, whatever. Soon as Adrian came out, the conversation changed. And I was like, what is going on? So then Adrian said, oh, wait a minute, I got to go back to the bathroom. She went to the bathroom. So me and Tammy went outside. I said, Tammy, can I talk to you? Let's have a woman conversation. Filled up my 32-ounce cup, my number 23, Michael Jordan. Filled up my cup. Went outside with her. We were sharing a cup of beer and talking. Mm-hmm. Everything was fine. Adrian comes outside to the porch. What are you guys doing? Tammy and I both said, this is a woman-to-woman conversation. See your way out. Ain't got nothing to do with you or your man, right? Mm-hmm. And my cup was empty. And I was like, I took a sip, I was like, girl, the beer's gone, going inside. Now, I'm celebrating my 21st birthday. When you 21 and young, you don't know no better. I ain't have Jesus yet. I did not have Jesus yet. I just want to say that. I didn't have whole Jesus. I knew about God. I knew about Jesus, but I wasn't sold out. I just knew. I was aware, but I was still young. Yeah. So out there, I was like, come on, let's get some more beer. And that's when it happened. I'm opening up the door. Adrian had the door halfway open, so I grabbed the handle to open it up further to walk in. And I heard, you lying B. You lying bitch. And then a punch hit me in the back of my head. And it was Tammy who punched me in the back of my head. And as I'm bringing forward the aluminum door, the corner of the door hits me right here. So I even have a little scar on my forehead, a little indentation from it. And I was like, what? And then the door slams because you got to go through the heavy door to get into the apartment building. And then you take 2 steps, and then to the left was my apartment door building. So that's a whole another door. And I was stuck outside to the entrance of the apartment building. So I heard that, and then I got jumped. Adrian was kicking me and punching me. Tammy had me in a headlock and started punching me, and she was just punching and punching and punching. And Adrian was kicking and punching. And I was so drunk, I'm counting feet. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 2 feet per person. I know somebody kicking me. Why am I being kicked? How is her feet kicking me? And it took a minute. And then eventually, it dawned on me I was being jumped by 2 people. And I was like, oh my God, panic hit. Panic set in. And so I tried to get off me, push. First I was trying to push away, push. They wasn't giving in. They were saying all these things. And the first thing I thought about was, I'm going to die today.
Did they say why they were doing this?
No.
They just start doing this?
They just started doing it. I found out a lot of stuff after, 18 years after that day, I found out what happened, their background of the story. But on that day, I was just devastated because I couldn't believe the person I was helping.
The person you were just having beer with.
Yeah, and drinking beer with out of the same cup is trying to kill me now.
Wow.
The wickedness of the hearts of men. When Jesus said there is nothing good in the heart of man, he really meant that. There is nothing good in the heart of man. Mm-hmm. He got to put it in you. You got to be born that way. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, you'll be corrupt. And I bit her on the side. I put my fingers up her nose to yank her head back. Anything to try to get away from them having me locked in and beating me up. And when I escaped, I went to the building. I asked Kirk and Orville. Now, this is 1993. And in 1993, there weren't no cell phones. So I know people was like, how she didn't have a phone? Well, cell phones came later. The only thing we had back then was cordless or wireless house phones. That means your phone was plugged into the unit in the house. But not everybody has them. And back then, I did not have that either. I had to knock on my neighbor's door across from me, the hall from me, and ask them to call the cops for me. So I'm asking my neighbors who don't speak any English to call the cops. So because I'm watching Tammy and Adrian not get in the car and leave, but go to the trunk of the car, pull out a big 2x4, and Tammy went in and she grabbed the gun. She went in, she grabbed the gun, and she tucked it behind her back of her.
Take a gun with them?
Yeah, they had a gun with them. And then she walks up towards the porch, still coming to my house. Now she's threatening to kill me and my kids, my babies.
Oh, wow.
I'm a 21-year-old with a 5-year-old and a 1.5-year-old.
Yeah.
And you want to kill me and my babies. And you said we were friends. You asked me for help to save you from a domestic violence situation.
But what triggers her like that? Like, what is she thinking?
I have no idea.
Wow.
But I do know this. When she came up and was threatening my kids and everything, I ran into my apartment. I had a block knife thing. I just grabbed any knife. I came around the front, and they were already on my porch. They were banging on my window. And I was like, why? I was in a state of shock. I don't know how long I was in a state of shock, but I was in a state of shock because all I kept asking Tammy was, why are you doing this? Why? I have no comprehension. To this day, I still don't have comprehension, even though I know the backstory to it. And so everybody was like, push her off the porch, you know, so Reese can get in the house. Like, this is a neighborhood I grew up in. This is my neighborhood. So I go to school or went to school with some of these people that are like watching this happening, and they're all like, let Reese in the house. Somebody call the cops. Like, the neighborhood is on my side. They see what's going on. And they're like, she don't deserve this, you know. So there's all these comments and stuff. And then as I'm walking to the door, I turned around and I was like, Tammy, like, with all sincerity in my heart, why? And she said, die. And she went to reach for her gun around and went like this. And she was like, you know, coming up, and she was like, die, bitch. And Adrian was coming with the stick like this, with the 2x4. And I had the knife, and I closed my eyes, and I swung my knife because I was, you know, trying to catch an arm or something, like blocked something. And I end up stabbing her in the heart.
Hi, I'm Tamara Gordon, and we are inviting you to be a part of our growing community of strong, resilient women. Follow us on our YouTube and TikTok channel at Tea with My Sweet Gratitude, and don't forget to listen to us on all major audio platforms at Tea with My Sweet Gratitude. Subscribe, and you will never miss an episode of empowering story and healing wisdom. So join me with a cup of tea as we embark on this journey of gratitude, healing, and hope together. Thank you.
Your heart is only as big as your fist. There's a 2-inch split, so I literally split her heart in half. Like, I split her heart. I didn't know it, you know, the force, whatever, you're fearful. I wasn't trying to kill her or anything. I was really in a daze. And then afterwards, she held her chest, so I didn't think like I did anything. There was no blood on the knife or anything, so I didn't think I did anything. I just thought she was like, you know, just, you know how people pound on themselves when they be talking.
Like she have a gun in her hand. She's a bad girl now. Yeah.
She was like, that bitch just stabbed me. I'ma kill that bitch. And by that time, Orville had grabbed me and brought me in the apartment. And he took the knife from me, and he had a towel. He was rubbing off his fingerprints because he took the knife from me. And I was like, what's happening? What's going on? And he was like, you just stabbed her. He's Jamaican. And he put the knife in the sink, and then I went outside, and I was smoking a Newport. And then a few minutes later, I heard a dog barking and the cops. And when the dog barked, I was like, are they going to send the cop dog on me? Are they gonna, like, am I gonna get bitten to death by a dog because I defended me and my kids? Are you kidding me? So I got scared when I heard the cop dog. And so I said, well, let me just come out because I'm innocent. I was defending myself. They came to my house. They had a gun. They had the 2x4. You know, I was just protecting myself.
Did she die there in the house?
No. She, they had called the ambulance and took her and everything. She had taken about 10 steps on the sidewalk and then collapsed. So when the ambulance got her, they put her in, and she died on the way to the hospital. So when I got arrested, like when I walked to the house, they was like, well, where did she go? I said, I'm right here. I'm the victim. And before anything, they put handcuffs on me. And Adrian's going, that's her. That's the bitch that killed my friend. And I was just looking at her. I was like, I didn't do anything. I said, you came in my house. You jumped me. I'm the victim. And the cops had handcuffed me. They asked me what happened. I told them what happened. I told them it was a 2-day event. I had a fight with her boyfriend the night before. And she was asking me for help from a domestic violence situation. And I told them what happened. And they was like, well, you got to come downtown, with us. So I went down. And I'm thinking I'm just going to give my statement and go home. That's not what happened. Because they couldn't legit take the first statement because I was already handcuffed and nobody read me my rights, the detective at the time tricked me into telling my story again, and I wasn't even coherent. Like, they were fingerprinting me, and I kept saying, what is my charges? What am I getting charged with? I got to go home to my babies. And and I was getting fingerprinted on the card. And the card read, murder 1. I said, what happened to her? Because I'm not a murderer. I'm not a killer. I help people. I don't hurt people. I was trying to help her. And on there, and then my fingerprints, it said murder in the 1st degree. How did I become a murderer when I'm the victim? Mm-hmm. Only in the state of Connecticut. Only in the state of Connecticut, because we don't have a self-defense law that protects people's person. Thank you. And I kept asking, and I was like, come give your statement again. And at this time, I'm reading it. I could see what they're charging me with. And I kept asking the detective, oh, it'll probably be assault charge. You're both going to get charged with assault. So they lied to me the whole time just to get my statement. And I was distraught. I had dry heaves. I couldn't sleep. I had nightmares. I got praying to God. Save her, even though I knew she was already dead.
Mm-hmm. Like you were in denial that she died.
Yeah. Because I couldn't believe the whole situation. Yeah. How do you drink with someone the same spit, like swapping DNA?
It's almost like we're having tea here on this side.
And then all of a sudden you want to kill me.
And bring a gun. Why did she bring a gun to the fight? Like,
that was what their purpose is. So 18 years later, I'm doing an interview at a local community podcast kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And the girl who's interviewing me knew Tammy and Adrian. And in the middle of the interview, she goes, stop. I know who you are. I was like, oh, man. I just got home from jail, only been home a little while.
And she knew you.
How do you know me? I just met you.
Yeah.
And it was because of the community organizing I was doing. I was trying to pass policy, be in the box, drug policy reform, criminal justice and stuff. And when she said that, scared the daylights out of me. She said, I know who you are. She was like, my daughter is 18 years old. She just turned 18. Her birthday was last month. She's born May 23rd. I went into labor May 22nd. I was like, May 22nd is my birthday. She said, I know who you are. She was like, Adrian is now crazy. She blames herself for Tammy's death. Now, this is me. Oh. Instantly, I'm in her house, in her apartment doing this interview. And instantly, I'm like, am I going to die today?
Oh, my God.
And she said, I want to thank you because you saved my life. And I was like, how did I save your life? She said she got so nervous about, like, she was like, she didn't do anything. She doesn't like your guy. Like, why we're every weekend these girls will pick a girl who liked one of their men and go to their apartment and jump them and beat them half dead. Never got caught by the cops. Never got caught
Oh, you
by the
mean
cops.
the two?
Tammy, Adrian, the girl who was interviewing me, and the girl who was interviewing me, her twin sister. It was 4 girls. They would go to clubs in different towns. And, you know, wherever their man was, wherever club their man was at, they would go to clubs. Whatever girl was flirting with them, they would find out where they would live. One of the girls would befriend that girl, and then on a selective weekend,
They'll
all
beat
go
them
to
up?
her house and beat her up. And
But why they bring a gun?
I have no idea.
She want to kill you.
She wanted to kill me. I feel, and
So this girl that's telling you this now,
she's like telling me
she was a part of it.
She was a part of it,
but she wasn't there that night.
she wasn't there that night because she went into labor because she was
Lord,
so nervous.
have mercy.
She was so nervous about coming to where I live in my house. She was like, something's not right. Why we jumping her? She don't even like your guy. I don't see, like, they had came to the club and observed me, and I didn't even know I was being watched by them as a group. And I never went to her man, never went to anybody's man. I was always hanging out with one of my cousins or one of my friends, always a female. If it was a male, it was a male cousin. And it was like, what's up, little cuz? I was like, oh, it's my birthday. Or they'd be like, here, have a drink on me. This is my cousin, buy her drinks, you know. So it was never like me flirting with anybody. I'm not a big flirt. I mean, somebody could be right now, unless they say to me, I want to date you. I wouldn't even know they was flirting.
Right, if it's in front of your face.
Yeah, because I'm just
out of it.
Yeah, I'm just not aware. Like, if somebody be like, oh, you're beautiful, I just like, oh, thank you for the compliment. Not like, you know, thinking that might lead into that's part of flirting. Yeah. No, I know I'm beautiful, thank you.
And sometimes it's not even flirting too, but yeah. Yeah,
but you know, like, people will be smiling and talking to me, and I just be unaware. And because I'm innocent, I always say on the inside, I'm innocent. Like, I'm not thinking
like you're coming to look me or whatever. Yeah,
you know. So, but yeah, that's what happened. I got arrested. I went to trial. When I was on trial, I got found guilty of manslaughter in the 2nd degree with a maximum of 10 years.
Okay.
So I got sentenced to 10 years. And because I did a lot of programming and I did a lot of education stuff, I got a lot of good time. So I was able to come home in 6.5 years and then spent 6 months on parole. So it was 7 years total. I went in 93, got home in 99.
Oh, wow. That's well.
And I got off of parole in 2000. So it's a total of 7 years.
7 years.
Together. But 6.5 inside. That's it. I say that's it because I know people who spent 20, 30, 40, 15. Life in jail. Yeah, there's still people I know that have life in prison.
Yeah. For the same scenario, too.
For the same thing. And it was interesting for me because it just solidified for me. That whole event solidified. You shouldn't be jealous at all.
And no one.
For nobody. And
especially no man.
Over no man.
Especially.
Because she died that night while he hopped on an airplane to Florida to be with his wife and 2 kids.
So he was married?
He was already married. She died for naught.
So wait a second. She was living out a prank under the disguise of this man that was already married. Because it wasn't really for him, though, because if that's what they do.
Yeah, that's what they do.
Is that a thing?
Somebody it was in 1993.
You just get up and go fight people just because you want to?
In 1993, I guess it was. I was always a good girl.
But this girl that was interviewing you, she knew you before she asked for the interview?
No, she didn't know who I was. When she asked me why I went, just like you, why did you go to jail? I tell the story. She goes, stop. I know who you are. She didn't know my name. She didn't remember my face. She remembered that day, though, because that's the day her daughter...
She's still alive? The lady.
Yeah, she's alive. Yeah.
Wow.
She's a nice girl.
And the other one that was a part of this fight, she's still alive too.
As far as I know, yeah,
the
but
one
she's cuckoo machu.
She's living in a probably mental institution or something like that.
Probably now. If not, she's wandering the streets.
Oh, wow.
Feeling full of guilt because...
She probably don't even know how to live with herself after that.
Yeah, because she's the one that incited Tammy to jump me that night. I don't think Tammy really wanted to in the beginning, because if she did, she would have never been talking to me.
She was friendly.
Porch. Yeah,
and drinking beer.
Yeah.
And she come out now and all the...
So when people be judging about people with criminal backgrounds, you might want to catch the story before you judge them.
And you know, people do it a lot.
Yeah. Like...
People do it a lot. They don't know anything about your life, but they judge you.
Mm-hmm.
To a point where you starting feeling insecure about things and afraid of people because of what they might say. It's a real thing.
It is.
It's a real thing.
I don't trust as much as I used to anymore. I can't. The freedom I had, the courage, I was a big patriot. Like, I believed in America. I was like, I believe in black and white, right and wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And until it happened to me. And then I realized there is no real black and white. The only black and white there is racism.
Mm-hmm. It's true. It's the same for me, too. I didn't allow my eyes to see color. People were just people. Until it knocked on my front door and I realized people are racist and it's just who they are.
Yeah, they're cruel.
Yeah. I went to prison on an hearsay statement.
Hearsay? You can't do that.
They said hearsay can't enter into the court of law, but I was convicted on a hearsay statement.
Are you serious?
On a hearsay statement by a detective and a son. And, when I think about it, it makes you sick. And I tell people all the time, I went to prison because I was black in a white man courtroom, in a white man country, according to the white man, and then they send me to a white man's prison. I didn't stand a chance in the courtroom. I was guilty before I walked in there because I was a black girl who a white man fall in love with.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that'll do it.
So, but the things that happen after that is how you feel about people. Make you not trust.
Yeah. It's beyond that, though. It does something to who you originally are. I had a freedom that I didn't even realize that I needed to appreciate until that happened.
It was taken away from you.
Yeah. A sense of security that no longer belongs to me anymore.
Until you walk into the prison door.
Yeah.
And the door is shut.
It's not even that. It's it was the whole betrayal for me. Mm-hmm. I got betrayed by someone that I was trying to help. And then I got betrayed by the justice system because they could have easily let me off. Mm-hmm. They could have said, yeah, we got it. She came to your house, whatever, and took it away. The sad part was I still didn't recover from the incident that happened September 1992. Less than a year, about 9 months before I stabbed Tammy, my son's father kicked down my front door and tried to kill me and our son. And I was in a corner, and he had pushed the bed and everything to corner me, and he was coming towards us. And I don't know if he had a knife or a gun or whatever, but he was coming towards me and our son in almost on some, if I can't have you, nobody can't have you type of thing. And I used to sleep with a knife under my pillow because of,
the trauma.
remember, remember, I lived on the first floor. At any time, somebody can easily come in to my apartment and kill me and my kids, rob us or whatever. So I always slept with a butcher knife under my pillow to protect me and my kids. When my son's father did that, September 1992, my son was only 9 months old. And I say our son was only 9 months old. And when he did that, I was trapped, and I was looking at the bed, and I remember I had the knife, and so I reached for the knife, was holding my son like this. He was lunging at us, and I just started stabbing him. I stabbed him like 13 times. And I called it. Yeah, I ran out, called the cops and the ambulance for him. He was in a coma for like a week or two, and he blamed me for it. Mind you, like the whole family blamed me.
He came in to kill you.
Yeah, but I still got the blame again.
For what?
Protecting myself. I guess I don't have a right to live. And but I didn't get arrested. The cops took my statement. He got arrested and everything.
And corner you in.
Yeah, and so I was like, okay, I'm okay. You know, I'm safe.
And now here it is.
9 months later,
again.
Here comes Tammy and
thing.
Adrian. Same thing. And because I remember the cops saying, you should have dragged her ass inside, and then if she died inside your apartment, nobody could have did anything. And I thought to myself, why would you drag?
Yeah, you didn't even think about that.
Somebody in your apartment who got a gun that you just stabbed. Make it make sense.
This episode of Tea with My Sweet Gratitude is sponsored by My Sweet Gratitude Cosmetics, your go-to for affordable luxury that celebrates your healing journey. With quality handmade products made with rich, creamy, moisturizing ingredients and a special customized blend of herbs that will leave you looking, smelling, and feeling absolutely beautiful. As a listener of Tea with My Sweet Gratitude podcast, you could enjoy a 10% discount by using code T at checkout. Visit our website at mysweetgratitude.com. Thank you for supporting Tea with My Sweet Gratitude. We will see you soon.
Who dragging somebody in their apartment after they try to kill them outside? Make it make sense, America. Make it make sense.
I guess, I don't really didn't know too much about the justice system. And I used to think everybody that go to jail did something. And you'd hear a story and you said, how? Maybe they're set up, but they still have evidence, and you'd think it can't happen.
Until it happens to you.
Until it happens to me.
And it's weird.
And you would, even now, every time I think about it, it makes me so upset.
Yes.
My constitution right was violated, both federal and local, state. So I don't get it. I don't understand. And even when I win the appeal, and the judge said, how did a judge allow that into its courtroom? It keep playing in my head. Every now and then it will play in my head. I keep hearing, it looked like the state of Connecticut is in trouble. I keep hearing it all the time in my head.
Yeah, somebody need to come and investigate this judicial system and cancel all of our charges that were unjustly charged.
How did they allow that? And I keep wondering to myself, because that's all I know about court, though. Erie said can't go into the court of law. Yeah. You can't say she said, he said.
No, that's admissible.
That was what happened to me, Erie said, because nothing happened. There was no crime occur. I gave love.
And you got sent to jail for it.
Mm-hmm. And I received love too.
I did the most ultimate mommy thing, and I was sent to jail for it.
Like you were supposed to let her kill your children.
Yeah.
How?
I don't know, but
Somebody said, oh, I'm going to kill your son. I'm going to kill your... Oh, you better try to kill me first, because if you let me survive, you're going to be sorry.
And that's the part that's just basic mommy instincts, human nature.
You protect your children.
Yes. And and even for human beings, you protect yourself. Like, I don't, when that flight, fight, freeze thing happens, I'm a fighter. My fight come in. So you trap me in the corner like a cat, I'm coming out scratching, right? And you get punished for that. So I've learned, and the crazy part was, I went in 93. I didn't go to trial to 95. And during the time I was there, while I was on trial.
You were in prison.
Yeah, I was in prison while I was going to trial. And I was being raped every night by this woman. Because when she first raped me, I reported it. And I said, you know, I avoided her. When she took a liking to me, I ran, avoided this lady. I was doing good. I was in school. I was a teacher's assistant. I was a Literacy Volunteers of America, so I was helping people learn how to read and write. In other classes, I was helping them advance. Yeah, in prison. Okay. And I was watching people go from being not able to read or write to graduating with their GED. And then they brought in college courses, so I started doing college courses. I became a software specialist and a cosmetologist, the cosmetology class. So I know how to do hair, nails. Yeah, I'm a licensed cosmetologist. So during that time, I was helping students and stuff. The women there who didn't have a GED or wasn't able, and I was going to school for myself. And this woman attacks me when I get out the shower. And I reported it. And because she had been coming in and out of that jail at York Corrections, back then it was Niantic, but at York Corrections, since she was 13 years old, she was in and out of prison. She was actually born. Her. They knew her. So when she said, you know how it is when newbies, we just had a lover's quarrel, so now she's screaming rape, they believed her. Not once did they check me, my record, or anything. Not.
So she said those words.
She said that to the staff, and the staff was dismissed my claim. And then on top of that, they put us in the same room together. So for 8 months, I was her bitch. And I was forced to have sex. So I had to pretend that I love someone to survive.
You have to pretend to love her?
Yes, I had to pretend. I had to take care of her like she was my husband.
Oh my God. You know,
they don't know what prison do to people. They don't know. Like, I should be in a psych ward, unable to function the amount of abuse I sustain from childhood to prison, through prison, and after prison. There's no decade of my life where I don't remember being abused by someone. I'm deserving of love. Mm-hmm. I'm a lovable person.
You are.
I'm a kind-hearted person. And I'm grateful that God removes at every level people, places, and things from me. Right now, those same children I saved in 1993, I don't even have a relationship with them. I don't even have a relationship with them. You gave me your napkin, I'll give you mine. I don't even have a relationship with them because, whatever story my family told them versus what actually happened.
I want to go back to prison and rape. See, when I enter York, and I'm so happy that I have an opportunity to meet you, because when I get there, too, I was warned about, I forgot her name, but she, like a two-name Shikir, I don't remember her name was, something, something like that. But it's a two-name person there that was a known stud, and she was one of those lady that rapes people. So people said, oh, you pretty little thing, now you get to be so-and-so girlfriend. And I was scared out of my mind. But by then, the PREA rule that you have to create was in place.
Yeah, 2012, I testified and told how I got raped in prison in order
So
to pass
that it's
Prison Rape
because of
Elimination
you
Act.
why I wasn't probably raped there, because you couldn't see a person naked. You weren't able to, you shouldn't, and if they have a girlfriend, they have to hide it. So I felt, because I was thinking about that the whole time in my head, because you hear our story that you've been through. Don't drop the soap, for whatever the case may be, and don't let the soap drop, and you've been through it. And I was scared that it was going to happen to me all the time. But thank God, thanks to you, that it did not happen to you. I'm sorry that you have to go through that.
2011, at that time, I was working for a Better Way Foundation, and I was a organizer, grassroots lobbyist. And Pat Dillon, Representative Pat Dillon from New Haven, she came to me. She asked me, LaResse, you know anybody who could testify for this PREA law for me? And I was like, what's PREA? She said, Prison Rape Elimination Act. I was like, oh, yeah, I got somebody.
Present.
Yeah. I was like, yeah, I got somebody. She was like, great. Can you testify? I know you're coming up to testify. Can they get here? Because, when you testify, you got 3 minutes. The bills that I was passing, we had hundreds of people testifying. They came to the Capitol, take the day off. I had a support team, leadership team that I trained as an organizer I'm a great organizer trainer, and all my leaders are successful. So I don't know if anybody else can claim that, but I can.
Yeah,
and,
I would say.
And so I was there, and she asked, do I have anybody testify? And I was like, yeah. Now, I was already on the phone with my team to get a couple more people to testify for another bill I was working on. And so when it came time for me to have my 3 minutes, I already had my speech written out for the bills that, I wanted to do. So I kind of read it pretty quick. And then I said, and I also want you guys to know, PREA is important, and here's why. Now, up until that day, only a few legislators knew that I had a criminal background. Most of them didn't, because you couldn't brag about being formerly incarcerated at the Capitol in 2010, 2009.
Now you can, I guess.
Now you go up there, I'm formerly incarcerated, and this is why this bill need to be passed.
Yeah.
Right? But who paved that way? Somebody paved the way for me.
Yeah.
And I paved the way for them. You know what I mean? So I was the person. I was the person. And anybody who's been from 2006 until 2015, I was the person in Connecticut who was formerly incarcerated, working on criminal justice, juvenile justice, drug policy reform, prison and pardon reform. All the changes, the application, finding out how racist they were in their pardons process was exposed. All this stuff that I did. I don't get any credit for it, but I was the one that did it with the community. And so during that time when she said that, I testified and I told them what happened to me. And there was a dry eye in the room, because by that time they had known me. I had worked with legislators, I had worked with them on bills. A lot of my bills is bipartisan because I work on both sides of the aisle. I'm a neutral person. I'm conservative about some things and liberal about others, and that's a healthy balance. And the work I was doing was mostly, for me, it was about saving lives. Saving lives and saving money for the state. Because if we save money for the state, we can push it back into education. The thing that has superseded education is imprisonment in the criminal justice system. When did we start wanting criminals as opposed to productive people in society? I will never know. But y'all always defunding education. And always funding criminal justice. You will create a new law to criminal. Now we want to criminalize homeless people. I wrote a grant for a campaign to stop criminalizing homelessness. Now, you're increasing rent right now. You got, now, what's going to be crazy is when a well-off person, a family ends up
on the
streets and then incarcerated for being homeless because they can't afford rent. And not everybody got good credit to purchase a house. You know, so those are the things.
But you see, until it start knocking down their door, they think it's all of this that's going on that they're doing to affect poor people. It's poor people problem alone. But when the problem of the poor start knocking down their door, they'll see. Because it's going to happen to them too.
It's going to happen to them before it happens to the poor people. Because poor people
to them.
know how to survive, how to get around homelessness and being seen homeless, you know.
What if I told you that your darkest trauma are the gateways to the deepest form of self-hate, but through it you can find healing? Would you believe me? I am Tamara Gordon, and I help women through their most severe challenges with the power of empathy and sweet gratitude. As a wrongful convicted woman, I survived prison only to find my greatest calling to date. After mentoring and ministering to hundreds of women behind bars, I realized that there are 3 critical things my dear sisters need to become whole: love, safety, and most of all, community. Join me and hundreds of other women on this challenge. I will send you 1 sample email each day with 1 action to take, and if you stick with me, I guarantee you your life will change. The Healing Heart Challenges is a safe place for women who are determined to reclaim their position at their homes and community. Join me today and let this transformation begin.
When their rent is $2,000 and it's a 1-bedroom and they got to pay $500 for electricity and then $500 for gas for a small, not even a beautiful penthouse 1-bedroom. No. I'm talking studio.
A hole in the wall.
Yeah, a studio with rats and roaches. You paying $3,000 a month for rats and roaches. They get to live off of you, and you can't even buy food for yourself. So now you got the choice of, do I live and eat, or do I escape? So I have apartment anxiety. Like I understand now over all this trauma, and part of my institutionalization is I don't like being confined. Yeah. So my dream as a kid was to get an RV, travel the world, whatever. Even when I was in jail, I was thinking about, I'm going to get an RV. I'm going to drive around, see the world. Makes sense. And then in 2022, I started a nonprofit, Once Incarcerated Anonymous. And the girl who raped me is the reason why I started this nonprofit. So she became ill and in a wheelchair, a lot of medical issues, but she was still incarcerated. So a colleague of mine and a friend of mine, we worked to get her a reduction in her sentence so she can come home, like a medical reduction. And we got her sentence reduced, and she was in the prisons.
Nursing home?
Yeah, nursing home.
Hospice or something like that if she's sick.
Yeah, she was in the nursing home. So we was like I call it West Street police home. So she was still incarcerated, but in the nursing home. And
she was on the grounds?
She was on the grounds at DOC in the nursing home.
Oh, they have one there too?
Yeah, no, it's not inside York. It's like on a different location, but it's for people with severe medical issues. Oh. And it's on West Street. It's located on West Street, but I'm not going to give the full address because nobody's supposed to know where it is. Okay. But it's on West Street. So people who know where I'm talking about. Yeah. And she was there. We got her freedom papers. There was a nurse there that was treating her poorly.
So let me get this straight. The same woman who raped you, you got her freed from prison? Why?
Because she was sick and dying. She shouldn't die in prison. And
whoever she was... And you forgive her?
Yeah, because whoever she was in 1995 was not the person she was in 2000. You're a good person. In 2020, she wasn't that person. In 2020, she wasn't that person. She had change. And if I choose to believe
That there's changes
that there's
in
change
people.
in world and knowing my own
Yeah, it's
change
true.
and worth, how am I going to judge her for what she did in
Yeah,
95 when it's 2020?
It's true.
I'm not the same as 1995. That's stupid. That's ignorance.
Yeah.
That's incompetence.
But that's good though that you could work on that after she hurt you like that. Did she ever apologize?
She doesn't think she did anything wrong to me.
She don't think so?
No, she never apologized. I never really talked to her after. I just got her home, and then I tried to help her get housing. And we wanted her to go like hospice or transition into community nursing home, and nobody would take her because she was coming from jail. And I thought that was just wrong, because people coming home from jail still will need nursing home. People age out. Some people get too sick to stay in. And it's more of a burden on the state to keep them in prisons like that than it is. Like, people can get sued for negligence and all this stuff. DOC can get sued for negligence and all this stuff. So I was like, okay, I'm going to help her get a place to live. And I tried apartments, everything. Nobody would take her because she was coming directly from prison. And she died freed in jail.
Wow.
She was free in jail and died because
she was free, but she still lived at this West place.
Yeah, she was like at the West place. So she was still in DOC care and died under DOC care as a free woman because she couldn't get housing. So I started working on housing advocacy for justice impacted communities. And what I realized is we are the highest homeless population, and not defined by the way they would define homelessness. Like, we're the highest homeless population based on the fact that a lot of us can't be on leases, so therefore we're not, and we're living with family or significant others. Some people are living with their children, and we're not on the lease. And depending on your charge, at any time, your family can say you threaten them. Like, my charge is manslaughter, and there's plenty of times where my family has used my charge. I can't get angry because of my charge. I can't express rage, anger. I can't get upset and raise my voice a certain tone because of my charge. A charge I should have never got in the first place. And so I looked at that and I said, I'm going to help people. I've been chronically homeless since I've been home from jail in 1999. I have had my own apartments, and I've maintained those apartments. I've never been evicted. I have left apartments to go help out family members, help them with their housing issue. I would accept a room, live under their roof, their rules, give my money just to make sure that they have, because I know what it's like. Yeah, to keep their house or to maintain their apartment or livelihood. And I'm thinking, oh, I'm good. This is family. This is my friend. Only to be kicked out after, I change how I function. So once I see, or if I'm down and out, like with my family, when I first got sick with PTSD and had these psychosomatic seizures, I would live with my family, my sister, my younger sister, moved all the way to Ohio, left Connecticut, lived with my younger sister. I was in a homeless shelter, and she was like, nah, come live with me. And I'm thinking, oh, I finally get, reconnected with my siblings. They made me feel welcome. They made me feel supported until I start getting better. And once I start getting better, then came all the scheming, the scamming, the I'm too aggressive, I'm too angry, and I didn't really do anything. I could be pissed off. Okay, we go in the refrigerator. You made yourself something real special. You tell everybody in the house, don't touch this. I'm going to the store. When I come back, this is mine. I'm going to eat it. Make sure nobody eat it. Now, you done went to the store. The whole time you at the store buying something, you like, oh, I can't wait. It's going to be set right. The seasoning is going to be settled in right. I'm going to go in the kitchen. I'm going to tear it down. Now, you open the kitchen, and it's gone. You look in the sink. You see it in the empty container in the sink.
And you can't talk about it.
and you go, who, all you say is, who the hell, like anybody else would raise their voice, who the hell ate my food?
Hey family, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and we will continue this beautiful episode next week.
My sweet gratitude raining down on